No, you good. You good. We good. We good. We good. We good.
Man, work has been so hard this week. You
You
have
said
no.
what?
I said work has been so hard this week.
Why?
Well, my colleague is on vacation, and I'm covering his stuff.
This is after they had y'all in there early in the morning.
Yeah.
Early in the morning.
So I'm covering his stuff. We do things differently. So some things are popping up that he does. And I'm like, what? Why would you do something like this? So now I'm doing it my way. And I know when they get back next week, they're going to be like, why did you do it like this? What's going?
Mm.
I don't like covering for colleagues, but at the same time, I appreciate it when they cover for me. So it's kind of like a catch 22.
Did I tell you how I like to cover for colleagues, or no, how I cover for colleagues versus how I like colleagues to cover for me?
No, I'm listening.
So, like when my colleagues go out, I want them to just give me as much information as I can about anything that may come up. Take care of what
Yes.
you have to take care of, but anything that may come up, just give me a little bit of context. And if anything came up, what you would need me to do for when you come back, you feel comfortable about the workload you're walking back to. Don't like, I want to do as much as you need me to do. So if you need me to take this on and really act on it with my own thoughts, just say, give me context, take care of it, and I'll deal with whatever when I get back. But if you say we need X and we need Y and we need Z, well, give me that, and I'm gonna make sure you get X and Y and Z. Now, when I go out, but see, that's the thing. I don't have, like when my coworkers go out, I don't bother you. Like whatever you leaving with, I'm gonna figure it out from there. I ain't gonna talk to you because when I go out on vacation, I'm giving whoever, once it's deemed whoever the coverage is, I'm giving them a long list of just notes. Like, I'm gonna take care of everything that I can up into 5 p.m. on the very last day, and then after that, I'm gonna write some long notes. And here's what I'm gonna say: do what you think is best. Do what you think
So
is best. I'm gonna live with the results of when I come back because guess what? After you read this message from me, email from me, you won't hear from me until I'm back. Now what?
I am the same way. So when I leave, whoever's covering me, I write a book. This is what's happening. If X happens, well, I'm the kind of guy that's like, hey, this is where it stands. If this happens, talk to this person. I kind of leave a flow chart. If this happens, then this. If not, it's fine. And it's a long email. And I'm like you, like at 5 p.m., do not talk to me until I get back to work. I'm not answering. Like my wife and I went to Mexico back in April. I looked all
Mm.
them in the face. I don't care if someone bleeding to death on my desk. Do not call me.
My brother, you good with that?
Yes.
Nah, I would hope if someone bleeding on the desk, you might need to just give you a call. Hey, this is
Nope.
going on.
Nope. Don't call me.
Okay.
Nope. Do not talk to me because I don't want to talk to you. And then
Okay.
when people, and I appreciate when people do the same. So the person I'm covering didn't leave a single note, didn't leave anything. So it's just like I'm getting blindsided every single day. It's like, do you know
Now
about this?
those people are the worst.
Well, they meant to, but I don't think they had the time. But I wish they would have taken the time because, yeah, like now
Well,
I'm just kind of walking in the door.
then in that case, that means they kind of did it on purpose. Did
That's
not?
true. That's true. That's fair. So
I'm just saying.
no, you're right. You're right. I'm just trying to because I got 3 more days of it, so I'm trying to be cool. Well, 2 more days because once Friday get here, that
Shoot,
shit can wait till Monday.
that's really one more day. That means Wednesday's another day you got to work. Thursday, it's like, all right, well, my man will be back on Monday, so whatever
That's
the fuck
true.
this is, it can wait. Friday, don't even hit me up. I'm not even
Don't
responding.
even CC him.
Don't, yeah, CC him. He'll see it. Matter of fact, he's traveling back. He's starting to look at emails now. He's starting to get a sense of what he gotta, what might be on his plate. Yeah, I mean, here's another beat since we're talking about coworkers on vacation. Yo, you motherfuckers that go on vacation then try to work while on vacation. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not the coworker for that. Cause you know what I'm gonna
Hell
do?
no.
I'm gonna stop working. I'm gonna stop covering for you.
If you want to work on vacation and you
I'm
work,
gonna let you work on vacation.
I'm gonna let you work because it won't be me.
It will not be me.
I ain't
And if,
answering nay email.
and if you've seen me on vacation, you know you don't want that brother sending any emails. You might want to let
No.
him. Hey, brother, don't say no so fast.
Hey,
Don't
my eyes be crossed from drinking so much. You don't want me up in there. My liver failing.
listen. Brother, how's the week been? It feels like last time I saw you, we were it's crazy how some of our conversations from last week, the results that played out over the last week, I don't think either one of us was prepared for. So
at
uh,
all.
from the Olympics, a little bit of NFL talk. I actually got some fantasy updates right after I sent these notes that I'm curious to actually hear yours and Kyle's thoughts on. Kyle, what's good? But before we kind of get into the stuff, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode
Oh
153
no,
of
not my
Speak on It.
Wi-Fi again.
Oh, this brother's Wi-Fi, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay. I got us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an episode 153 of Speak on It. As always, you are joined by, of course, when you see this Nas fade, it can only be one brother, the good brother, Los D Mix, joined eventually by the man, the great man that is Danny Ocean, experiencing a little Wi-Fi issues. It's okay. He'll be right back. But while he's away, I got us for this time. Want to shout out to the good folks over at Going for Two for always continuing to hold it down. Hold it down. Shout out Jeff. Shout out the whole team at Going for Two. They continue to be great, great, great people. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a really, really, really good show for you. We're gonna pretty soon. I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of these fantasy football updates. Now that we're getting through this first week of the preseason, fantasy talk is already starting to ramp back up. So I got some updates as some draft lotteries for redraft and keeper leagues are starting to hit the page. I mean, hit the leagues. I got an update on one of mine, as well as some thoughts now that we kind of get into that draft, that fantasy draft season. Would love to talk about maybe top pass catchers, top running backs, top QBs here in the near future. So we'll talk about that with Kyle and Danny. We'll also talk a little bit of the Olympics after our NFL and college football talk. We'll talk a little bit of the Olympics. There's a lot of great things that happen in the Olympics across a lot of different sports, from basketball, from gymnastics to track and field, women's soccer. There's a lot of good things to talk about. I'm still talking about Turkish dude with the shots. He's different. He's different. And then we'll end it off with a little WWE chat. We got some things in WWE world. It's looking like this bash in Berlin might be a decent pay-per-view. I know they're trying to build their international audience. So excited to speak on that. And of course, this week, as we continue our trek to the NFL regular season kickoff, we will be continuing our week over week coverage, breaking down each division. This week, we'll be spending our time in the home of the reigning champs. Yes, the AFC West, where the Kansas City Chiefs reside. We'll be talking about that. Kyle, if you're here, I would love your thoughts. So in my keeper league, it's a 2-player keeper league, 10 teams. I won the league a couple years ago. My keepers have been consistent now. I'm keeping Patrick Mahomes and I'm keeping CeeDee Lamb. The draft is September 2nd. They just did the draft lottery. And Kyle, your boy, got the number 1 overall pick. Yes, sir. I wish there was a round of applause. So, so you could, clap for me. But I did get the number 1 overall pick. So Kyle, I'm actually kind of curious I know it's kind of hard to kind of see without knowing the full list of keepers, but I'm curious if your QB was Patrick Mahomes and your wide receiver 1 was CeeDee Lamb in a PPR keeper league, don't you feel like with the number 1 overall pick, you should definitely take best running back available? It's my thoughts. It's my thoughts. I don't know about you, but it's my thoughts. I don't know. I know like a Christian McCaffrey or someone won't be there, but maybe somebody like maybe I don't know. I don't want to say Devin Singletary. Maybe someone in that maybe Kyron Williams range if he's there, Rashad White if he's there. Maybe that tier running back, I doubt I'd get someone like a Saquon or a CMC. The guy who has CMC, he has Saquon and Christian McCaffrey and Njoku, James Cook. That could be another one. Um, okay, so Kyle says I would think so, but it also depends if any of the top tier wide receivers are available. Who do you expect will be the best running back in round one? Um, I think someone like a Rashad White, someone like a Jonathan Taylor could be another one. Um, I could maybe see a Jonathan Taylor. Maybe even let me tell you something. If Bijan Robinson's there, I'm going crazy because the guy who's got Bijan also has Amon-Ra St. Brown and Josh Allen and Jahmyr Gibbs. So, I'm intrigued. Danny came back at a great time. So, uh, I'm chatting with Kyle. So in my keeper league that I won, it's one of my more expensive leagues. Winner gets about a good piece of change. But I won the league a few years ago. Last year I had one of the better offenses, but I was in a tough division. It just with a few injuries. I got bounced in the second round. Anyway, they did the draft lottery today, and your boy got the number one overall pick, right?
Oh,
Yeah. My two keepers in this league are Patrick Mahomes and CeeDee Lamb. So I'm
okay.
asking Kyle, it seems like my most obvious choice, the number one overall pick, would be to take the best available running back. Kyle says he thinks so, but it may depend on if any top tier wide receivers are available. It's a keeper league, so it's hard for
Okay.
me to see um, who people's keepers are. Um,
Oh, so you can't see who people keep? That is very interesting.
Not until like the draft. But
Oh,
but
wow.
there's like there's a day that everyone has to set their keepers by, or else like the, the computer would do it for you, I guess.
Okay.
Um, Kyle says, but I guess even if they don't, one of Bijan, Abumrah, and Jahmyr Gibbs would be available. So take whoever they let go. And I'm telling Kyle, I'm going through some rosters, right? I'm just going to start naming who I deem as the three best players on people's rosters, and you tell me who you think may be the one person they decided to drop.
Okay.
Um, Here's one roster. Roster one: Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, a tie between James Cook and Chris Olave, whoever you would deem as the third best player out of those, as the
I'd
best
probably
player out of
drop.
those two.
I'd probably drop. I'd definitely keep in CMC. It would be between Barkley and Olave. I want to keep Barkley, but he's not healthy. I don't know if I want to risk my keeper on Barkley. But again, Olave, Derek Carr's throwing to him. Like what a
Here's roster number two.
okay.
Um, this might have been the team. No, this team didn't win actually. They have Okay, let me just name you this roster, some dogs on this roster because they got a lot of them.
Okay.
Rashad White, Kyron Williams, Stephon Diggs, AJ Brown, Jettis.
Well,
They
AJ
can only
Brown and
keep two.
Jettis. AJ
AJ.
Brown and Jettis. I'm keeping them.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Roster number three. Uh, they got a few dogs on this one. CJ Stroud, Kenneth Walker, Tyreek Hill, Debo, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs.
Hill and Adams.
Um, Another roster four: Dak, Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon, Cooper Kupp, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, Brandon Ayuk.
Mm, definitely. Who's the running back you said? That was a lot of names.
Jonathan Taylor, Joe
Yeah,
Mixon,
definitely Jonathan Taylor. I don't
Cooper
know,
Kupp.
man. Like, it might be. I don't know about Cooper. It might be Ayuk. It depends. Is Ayuk in Pittsburgh or is he in San Francisco?
So, roster number five. Technically, I'm roster number five. So, but I'm keeping CD and Patty.
Yep.
Roster number five: Josh Allen, Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Wow, they really went Amon-Ra and Jahmyr. That's hilarious. Zay Flowers, Trey McBride, Aaron Jones. They also have Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything Kyle said in the chat. That makes sense. So if Josh Allen, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just frozen on my end. I swear I pay my Wi-Fi bill this month. Yeah, whoever they don't keep, that roster is loaded with
Yeah.
talent. It appears.
Roster number 6. Whew. Yeah, I can see why this team didn't win a lot of games. Puka Nakua, Drake London, Brees Hall.
I guess I'd keep Brees and Puka.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't know if they got anyone else to keep. Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, the other players. Oh, another one. Okay, I can tell you who he's going to keep. One person going to keep is Jamar Chase. That's his best player. Shit, he might as well keep Devonta Smith. I keep Chase and Smith. Those are 2 best players. His running backs are Chuba Hubbard and Austin Eckler. His next best receiver is Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Nico Collins is on his team too, but he ain't doing nothing with that.
Yeah, he ain't doing nothing with that.
All right, roster number whatever. This guy fucking stinks.
I hope he's not watching.
Oh no, if he is, I hope he is, because this is piss poor drafting. Derrick Henry, Michael Pittman Jr. should be his keepers. George Pickens may be like a distant third. Wow. This guy's team fucking sucks. Last team. This guy's got Jalen Hurts, Najee Harris, DK Metcalf, Christian Watson, and Jordan Love. Okay, wow. I see. See, that's why I'm advocating for no divisions, because the first side of those first teams I was mentioning, those are all teams in my division that I play like a few times a year. And I keep telling them, yo, it makes no sense for us to have divisions, because our division is like dominating the other side. Like, it's not like, if I would show you like interconference matchups, like we may have lost a total of like 5 or 6 intra-conference matchups since I've joined this league.
I hate when that shit happens. That's the worst. Then I feel like that happened in one of the redraft leagues we were in, right? When I first started, it felt like that.
Yeah.
Like you and I were in that conference. It was just terrible. Not terrible, like it was just tough. And the other person on the other side was just getting, yeah.
So, I don't know. It feels like I'm with Kyle. I think whoever that guy drops between Bijan, Amon-Ra, and Gibbs, because he won't be able to keep all 3 of them. How long has this league been around? Well, this league was around longer. Like, I just joined a couple seasons ago, and they've been rocking. I can look in the app right now, Kyle. I can shut the hell up. League info. League history. Here we go. It was created in the COVID year, 2020.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I won it in 2022. I joined in like 2021, probably.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I joined in 2021, finished 4th. 2022, I won it. Last year, I finished 5th. And I literally had one of the best offenses in the league. I was playing people on like I would score like 160. They throw up like 185 in an ESPN league. What are we doing?
What are you doing?
So yeah, matter of fact, let me go back here and say
only do that. Kyle says, because if they have to keep divisions, they should realign them every so many years based on win percentage. It's not a bad idea. You're not the commissioner of this league, are you?
Nah, Jordan Long is.
Okay. Gave the man's whole government out.
He'll be all right. Ain't nobody checking for him. All right. Speaking of football, do you want to start maybe in football or in the Olympics?
We can start in football.
Okay, let's start in football. So the college football preseason top 25 came out. What are your thoughts there?
The only big thing I had, and maybe I missed something. So if I did, someone can check me. But Ole Miss at 6?
Nah. Ole Miss is apparently, they are loaded with offensive talent right now. with Nick Saban for sure gone, Ole Miss feels like they can make a run for the SEC West and for the SEC title.
So I missed something. Okay, that's me. That's why I asked. I looked at the rankings. I was like, okay, like I knew Missouri had some momentum last year. Like everything kind of made sense to me. And then I was like, Ole Miss at 6. Whew. That seems ambitious.
Yep, Ole Miss at 6. Of course, Georgia at 1, Ohio State at 2, Oregon at 3, Texas, Bama at 5. So that's interesting that they're still valuing the respect of the program and the roster to keep them at 5 even without Nick Saban. 6 is Ole Miss, 7 is Notre Dame, 8 is Penn State, Michigan, Florida State is top 10. Some other notables: Mizzou's at 11, Utah's at 12, Clemson's at 14, Tennessee's at 15. Oklahoma State, and Kansas State is 16, 17, 18. Iowa's 25, NC State's 24, Kansas is 22. Other people that are receiving votes: Virginia Tech. Shout out to my Hokies. Shout out to my Hokies.
The ACC is weak. I feel like the Big 12 and the ACC are just like, you're going to get into the college football playoff because you got to. But I feel like everyone's going to be like, yep, we want to play. Not Virginia Tech necessarily, but especially the Big 12. Like Utah's the best team in the Big 12 right now.
Here's what I'm going to say right now. ACC, Virginia Tech winning the ACC. See y'all in the college football playoff, baby. Go Hokies.
I mean, it should be Virginia Tech in Florida State in the ACC championship game.
Why would somebody try and tell me Miami is a team that can make some noise?
Who keep falling for the Miami, the banana in the tailpipe? Who keep falling for that?
He is a Miami fan. Keep saying first. One of the things he said was, when has Tech ever won an ACC championship? And I was like, yo, what?
Did they just win it? What's his face?
Tyrod and them.
Yeah.
And trust me, everyone in there was like, what the fuck has Miami won in the ACC?
Miami ain't been shit since they went to Adidas. And I'll die on that hill. Ever since they went to the stripes, the uniforms suck. Say what?
Ever since they left the Big East.
Ever since they've had some success in the ACC.
What success? What ACC titles have they won? What they did?
That's true.
What they did?
That's true. I don't have a rebuttal.
Speaking of which, after playing enough NCAA 25, I might have been wrong about this 12-team playoff. Maybe it might be lit, depending on the matchups that we get. Okay. Like some of these first round matchups might go crazy.
What if you played? So what's the most exciting college football playoff game you've played?
Let's see. So it's funny enough, before I got on here to chat with you, I was in the process of starting another offline dynasty so I can keep practicing my skills. But my other offline one has been with the University of Houston.
Yeah, I remember that.
We maybe like mid last week, I won my first national championship with them in year 2. After only like 2 losses. I mean, this team was stacked. But in the first round, we played Clemson, and I believe it was no. It wasn't. It was the year afterwards. It was in my 3rd year, the year I just finished, and I'd lost in the Big 12 championship game to Baylor after only losing like 2 games all season. One of which was to Texas Tech at home, and the other one was to Southern Cal at Southern Cal. So I go to Clemson, and Clemson and me get into a shootout. Not gonna lie, the first 2 quarters. First half, I mean, it is like they scored, I would score. They scored, I would score. Next thing you know, we're going to the half tied up 21-all.
Okay.
Oh, second half, I blew their doors off. I'm not gonna hold you. I mean, I think I scored like 24 unanswered points, and then I just started. I mean, I won big. You
gotta run the score, right? Now, does that account when you play NCAA 25? Because you got to get style points if you beat a team down. Does that matter in the game?
This was in the college football playoffs, so now we just went into advance.
Oh, now you just went into advance.
And I was at Clemson, so I was like, I'm not letting y'all get momentum and come back. So then the next game, I'll tell you a little bit about this journey. The next game was against Baylor. Got them boys the fuck out of here. I got my revenge on a neutral field when there's Listen, neutral field. Oh yeah, beat up
What
on it.
was the final score?
It was like 55-24. I
Oh
beat up on
shit! All
it.
right.
I beat up on it. I was mad about that other game. Then the game after that, I played Texas Tech. That was actually a really close game because they are very up tempo. I think I won 35-24, 35-28 in that range. Then I was in the college football, the national championship game against Georgia, fam.
Not good.
I think I lost by a touchdown, maybe two.
Oh, okay.
They got me
Took
the
us.
fuck out. They got me the fuck out of here, though. I ain't gonna hold you. Still tight about it, but it is what it is.
There's always time to redeem yourself.
I'm gonna start another offline dynasty. I got two other online dynasties. So you know about my SMU. I can tell you because I just finished that season actually while we're here.
Yeah.
SMU finished 9-4, third in the ACC. We had a chance to make it to the ACC championship game, but I lost my last game of the season against Cal. Kept me out of the ACC championship. Went to the Fenway Pinstripe Bowl against Memphis. Won that game in the snow, 9-4 to end the season. Good first year.
Wait, where were you playing in the snow at? Where is this game at?
It was the Fenway Pinstripe Bowls. Hold on.
Oh, that's in Yankee Stadium, right?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, it is in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Well, I was getting them the fuck out of here. All right. But did you hear about Jim Harbaugh and the punishments the NCAA came down? The biggest joke ever.
My camera is malfunctioning, but I am using air quotes when you say the word punishment.
Then Michigan was like, yo, we're going to make him an honorary captain. And then all of a sudden they was like, never mind.
Never mind.
NCAA, give it up. Y'all didn't catch him cheating. You don't have any evidence. They got away with it.
And that's okay. That means they did a great job.
They cheated. They won a national championship. They got away with it. Be pissy about it. But yeah. Little NFL talk. What are your thoughts on the first week of preseason?
I don't want to get too excited, right? Because it's one game.
Oh
but that boy Caleb Williams.
Woo! Woo! Yeah, he ain't nothing.
Woo! Come on now. Come on now.
He ain't nothing special.
Come on now.
Yeah, he ain't nothing special.
That's hate. That's hate.
That's
you saw some of the things.
That's preseason offense. That's preseason offense.
I'm just saying, and I know it's preseason defense. I get it, but the throw to Swift for the screen, and then the throw he was running right and throws it. Whoo! That's hate. That's hate. I wish you could see my face right now. That's hate.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean,
I got one take, but I'll let you go first.
Here are my preseason. Here's my thoughts on I'm gonna start with the Packers. Listen, they nice. I think this might be something. I think this Packers team, they might be something.
Now you can't sit here and downplay Caleb Williams and then turn around and be like the Packers gonna be. The fuck,
listen. I don't. You know what I mean? I'm someone. I don't like to really project my biases. That would never be me. But after watching a little bit of the Packers preseason game, I'm saying this team has what it takes. I think we got to get a little bit healthy at the running back position, but Jordan Love, this receiving core, that's how it's supposed to look. That's my first take.
Okay.
Second take. Let's see. Dallas. Y'all should go ahead and pay Dak Prescott. I seen them backups behind him. It ain't it.
Did you watch the Rams game when Sean McVay was on the headset and it was 4th and 3 and they motioned into empty and Sean's like, oh, empty on 4th and 3. That's interesting, Mike McCarthy. And the Rams defensive lineman beat their 1-on-1, got to Trey Lance. Trey Lance spun and ran for the first down, but you can tell Sean was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Like,
I'll send you the clip. It was hilarious.
He was probably like, yo, you doing this right here in preseason? Like, you dead ass right now?
Sean was like, oh, that is interesting. I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Listen, do you think coaches use the preseason to just try out like random fancy plays?
To a degree, I think now we're in a place where coaches use joint practices for that. Like teams use joint practices to try that stuff out because I feel like they treat joint practices as a preseason games for the ones. Because I don't know how long did Jordan play on the Packers?
Probably like a series, maybe two.
Because I know Jalen didn't play a snap. Like the starters really didn't play for the Eagles against Baltimore. The Ravens didn't play Lamar, but I know the Eagles, like they were in New England today, and Jalen like had like 30 reps, right? Like they're treating, and I don't know if that's a league thing or if that's an Eagles thing because that's a Nick Sirianni. He's been doing that since he got there. Like he really won't play his starters in preseason, but he'll use joint practices as like a tune-up for the starters.
Why is the NFL trying to stop fights in practice? That's football.
That's football. Now, I think that what they're trying to stop is DK Metcalf swinging a helmet at a teammate on live TV in the background. I think that's what.
Yo, let me ask you something. You think Metcalf might be kind of crazy?
Yes, 1,000%. Like I feel like DK Metcalf might be the kind of guy who would jokingly say he drinks blood, but was dead serious.
He's a dude that'll say it again. I smack the shit out of you. And
oh, that kind of crazy, 100%. Oh, here come Kyle with the hate on Caleb Williams. All right, man.
Pull it up, please, for the people watching. So Kyle says, what did Caleb Williams do? I agree. Kyle also goes he threw a screen pass that went to the house. I'm saying, Kyle, that's what Justin Fields did last year, and everybody hated him. Kyle,
all right, y'all.
It's my mother.
All right, y'all can hate all
right.
you
want. Let me
want.
tell you about some rookie quarterbacks that was making a little bit of noise. JJ McCarthy was out there kind of doing his thing a little bit.
He was. I was shocked.
He got hurt. Listen, I was watching that Vikings. Who was it? Vikings Raiders. I was watching that Vikings Raiders game because I was spinning a little bit of music while it was playing. I was particularly watching when Jetta was on the headset talking with the announcers of the Vikings as they were kind of like calling the game. And man, let me tell you something. The Vikings got some wide receivers in that wide receiver room that can play. JJ McCarthy was throwing some dimes. I mean, they look pretty. They didn't look too bad at all. Shame that he got injured. Like he has a torn meniscus. What are your thoughts there? What do you think this means for Sam Darnold?
Who's signing up to watch Sam Darnold play football? I'm sorry, Minnesota. They've had. I think I saw something like the young man passed away. One corner is out for the year. Like they have had a rough 5 weeks, and it sucks.
It's tough. It's that they're at the point where they're already kind of feeling like their season's already going downward before it even begins.
Because you're already the third best team in your division behind Green Bay and Chicago. I mean, Detroit and Green Bay, and you're fighting for fourth against Chicago.
Well, I don't think they're really fighting Chicago. Chicago is the fourth best team by a good margin.
Can I give you my preseason hot take?
Talk to me.
Jalen Carter, Defensive Player of the Year. I'm ready.
Speaking of defensive players, I'm not going to disagree with that. Another person who probably wants to win Defensive Player but has to take a defensive practice snap first is Hassan Reddick. Listen, weeks ago you mentioned this to me, and I didn't know that he was traded there and that he still didn't show up. Today, or maybe yesterday, he has formally requested a trade from the New York Jets. So, Danny, as we continue to cover people like Brandon Ayuk and Hassan Reddick who are trying any which way to get fired, I want to ask you about a time that you requested a new role after asking for a new role right before.
Oh, you want to know what I did to get out of it? Because this has happened to me before. And also, the Jets are not a serious organization. I was in a position. My manager and I were not getting along. I wanted out. I had started exploring other roles. It did not work out. And then one day, my manager was wilding on an email to me. And I said, thank you very much. I forwarded to HR and used it as leverage to get the role that I wanted.
Now, when you say you used it as leverage, what did you kind of tell HR?
I said, do you expect me to work under this? Does this sound like a manager to you? Would you want to work under this? How would you respond if someone emailed you talking like this?
You don't think they went to your manager and was like, "Yo, WTF"?
I'm sure they did, but the damage was done.
Mm. Can you talk to me about what they was saying, like in the realm? You ain't got to say word for word, but
Yeah. So they were accusing me of, what did they say? Oh, I had made it was a very reasonable request. And they're like, you always push back. You're always questioning. You're always like, you always got something to say.
Mm.
And I was like, word, for that bad boy to HR about.
So basically, she was trying to say, why you always got an opinion?
Yeah, in a non-professional way. So I forwarded to HR. About 3 weeks later, they said, "Hey, we got this opportunity over here. How does that sound to you?" And I said, "Sure." And the transition started.
Now, tell me about those 3 weeks.
Oh, they were awkward, but I knew what was on the other side. And then me and that manager had one final meeting, and they said to me, I don't know, I think they were trying to like apologize and backtrack, and they were like, do you think you could, do you think you can learn something from me as your manager? And I was like, no, not really.
Wait. They asked you what? What type of gaslighting ass question? What do you mean learn from you? You rude, motherfucker.
Yeah, I
How
think
about
they
you
were.
learn to kiss the backside of my ass?
Let's see. I learned how to get out from under your thumb. Yeah, they were like, oh, do you think you can learn, or was it, do you think you learned anything from me? No, it was, do you think you can learn and grow with me as your manager? And I was kind of like, nah.
Gotta hit him with the. I think we tried that, and I don't really see the results coming to fruition. So I think
I
maybe
should have said that, but I was like, I think I said something like, it hasn't worked out so far. Like, I'm good.
See, here's what I be thinking. I be thinking sometimes you got to be a little spicy to let people know something ain't working here, and it damn sure ain't me on this one.
Well, what I really wanted to say was, if you got to ask me that question, then we both know the answer.
Well, that too. Yo, the work we don't really talk about. The workplace is really home with some of the dumbest questions ever that you just got to be like, I mean, I guess that's not a dumb question. No, that's not a dumb question, but my G, that's a dumbass question.
Is that what you say to your colleagues?
In my head, I'll be thinking that. I'll be like, because they'll be like, oh, this may be a dumb question. Then I got to hear it. Sorry, at that point, okay, I'm intrigued. Say the question, and then if it's a real dumbass question, I in my head, I'm like, yeah, you probably shouldn't ask. That's a dumbass question. You probably should have just asked somebody beside that.
You're going to be a great manager. I can't wait. It's going to be so funny. And I think, let me say this, you're going to be a good manager. I'm not saying you're going to be a bad manager, but I think one day, like, you're going to get some shit off and something like, damn, I have had no one be that honest with me.
Well, I mean, look, so, listen, you know my rule of thumb. We are only important to our mothers. So
is that how you introduce yourself? Hi, I'm D, your manager. The only one who thinks you're important is your mama.
Well, no, but like that's how I'll be approaching. It's like, all right, you may have some issues going on, true, and you should handle that. Like, I'm all for taking care of yourself. Prioritize what you gotta prioritize. But some of this, but in my mind, if you're gonna come to me with like some complaining shit, I'm gonna ask you, okay, but like, how serious is this? Like, are you just like venting? Because if you're venting, I'm gonna need you to go find someone else to do that because we just got too much. Listen, there's too many ways to go get it. So you can vent or you can vent and get to it. Vent and get to it. Go complain while you're taking action about what you're complaining about. I love those people. Straight up. The people who start complaining and just be like, you know what? I got something for your ass. I got something for you.
You know what's funny? I have a colleague who trained me. They are like a mentor to me in my current role. And I do that. Like, I'll go in their office and start complaining. And I'm like, I'm going to say this, like, I'm being a little bit of a brat right now. And then they're like, okay. I say what I got to say. And it's like, all right, so what's next?
Yeah, like what? Like that'd be my thing. All right, now that you got that out your chest, what's next? What are we doing next? Don't come to me. You complain about issue A. Okay. After you complain about issue A, all right, did you do something about it? No. All right. Okay, cool. Whatever you think is best is your decision. If you come back to me again complaining about issue A, listen, I'm gonna just sit you down. Listen. Between me and you, I just feel like if like issue A is really that bad, then you need to go fix issue A. Like find a way to resolve issue A. If not, then really what you're telling me is that you enjoy whatever this issue is and you want to continue it. And that's if that's the case, that's perfectly fine. Don't tell me about it because I just don't care.
That's fair, and I do not do that. Like I do not complain about the same issue multiple times.
Like I'm always listening to the first complaint, but after that, it's like, all right, but like how serious? Like, and if it's unless it's like a serious situation, then you gotta. Then I'm if it's some serious tea, nah, keep complaining to me about it. I want to hear the updates. Like what? Your man at home cheating? He did what? You found what? What videotape?
Lord.
Nah, go ahead. Let me hear about it. Speaking of random ass questions that we don't want to hear about, Matt LaFleur says he is ready to vomit after all these who's the number one wide receiver on your team questions he's getting. So let me ask you something.
Yep.
If you're Matt LaFleur and you see this narrative starting to build, are you not trying to get how hard are you trying to get ahead of it to keep the continuity in the locker room? Because I put it like this. I believe Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson were drafted together. So those two, so when it comes for paydays, they're literally at the same time. Then Dontavius Wicks, Jaden Reed, Bo Melton, these other guys, they're in that class like right after him.
The organization's actions will always speak louder. But if you're Matt LaFleur, it's not. How do I say this in a way that's not too rude? Like if you're Matt, who gives a fuck? Y'all are professionals. If you want to be number one, then go be number one. Like it's not Matt LaFleur's job to. They haven't done enough to have their egos coddled to the point where Matt has to get frustrated answering those questions. If you have to ask that question, and I know they're young, then there is no answer. The answer is no one. The saying is, if you got two QBs, you got none.
But I would also say, look at the offense that's being ran. Is a number one wide receiver even good for this offense? We have so many really, really good wide receivers. Eventually, one of you will just separate yourselves as the go-to guy, but that doesn't mean the guy right behind him isn't just as good.
Exactly.
So, like, what is the issue? So, because what I think y'all are trying to do is y'all trying to create a conversation so that in a few years when it's time for someone to get paid, now it's he's number one versus who's number two. No. Let's keep everyone on the same level. And this could be a tactic for Green Bay. If we keep all you guys fed, then all you guys will get stats. Let's just say there's 5 of you, right? If we feed all 5 of you, in a few years when free agency starts coming around and like you guys are ready to get paid, if there are 5 talented wide receivers, if we just work to keep at least 3 on the roster for a good significant period of time, even if we lost 2 and redrafted 2 more, I still think we are still keeping a good nucleus of wide receivers around. What's the issue?
The cream always separates itself from the crop. So if I'm Matt LaFleur,
Kyle,
number one, all of them.
All of them. Okay. Depends on the game.
Kyle
says, I don't know that any of the wide receivers have a problem with the current wide receiver situation. It seems like the media wants an answer to a problem that doesn't exist. He's very right. The media is trying to
Thank you. And that is exactly right, Kyle.
They're trying to create a narrative here. My brother, are you ready to talk a little AFC West?
Yeah, let's talk AFC West.
Ladies and gentlemen, every year around this time, we do a full breakdown of all 8 NFL divisions. We go through each team's record, division winner, biggest storyline, breakout players, division MVP, anything else. This week, last week we did the NFC South. Week before that, we did the NFC West. Week before that, we did the AFC East. And of course, we all know we start this out over in the AFC South. This week, we are returning back to the AFC after 2 weeks in the NFC. And we're talking about the champs. Yes, we are talking about the AFC West, ladies and gentlemen. So that is the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chargers. Danny, I don't know who started this last week. I don't know if it was you or me, but I'm happy to knock this bad boy out. I'll start with each team's record from best from worst to best, and then I'll let you go. How does that sound?
I feel like we're going to have the exact same. I think this is the one week you and I are going to have the exact same thing verbatim. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
All right. So finishing at a solid 6-11, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, they don't really have a firm grasp on who they want to be their quarterback. I think this team is going to be in QB purgatory. I think they're prepping for Shador. I think they're prepping for Carson Beck. Devontae, just keep praying, brother. I have them at 6-11, and I just have them. I just have myself watching Raiders games, praying that they just get better. At a surprising 9-8 in his reintroduction back into the NFL, I do have the Los Angeles Chargers. I feel like they're going to be mediocre because they're the Chargers, but a little bit better than mediocre because Jim Harbaugh is coaching the Chargers. So I do think this first year will be a step in a better direction. I don't think they make the playoffs. I actually think only one team. Let's see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, let me see. I'm trying to count it again. How many playoff teams I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I only have one team from this division even making the playoffs.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But yeah, I got the Chargers at 9-8. Finishing in second division with a rookie QB and a system that best bet and a quarterback that better fits the system that he wants to run. I like the Broncos to finish 10-7. I think they are defensively a little bit better than some of the performances that we saw earlier in the season last year. And I think as that team went on throughout the season, they got better, especially defensively. I think Bo Nix is going to come in and run the offense that Sean Payton wants to be ran. I think now that they've got the Russ situation behind them, they have a rookie quarterback. I could see this being actually a quality football team, and I could actually see them doing a thing where like they split the series with Kansas City, like they win they win the home game. Yeah, I see this team being a 10-7 team, and they will also have the benefit of getting one of the worst divisions in that. Worst schedules in that division, one of the easier schedules because they were one of the worst teams. So I have the Broncos finishing a 10-7. And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, yep, I have them going right back to the playoffs, chasing ring number 3 at 13-4. I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, when you have Patrick Mahomes, you got Andy Reid, the desire to win 3 in a row, no team's ever done. Still got a really good defense. Everyone's back, except for L'Jarius Sneed and a few others. Listen, I like the Chiefs to finish 13-4. Listen, as long as you got Patrick Mahomes, you are due to make a run. So that's my order. What about you? I feels like it switched probably rather early.
Yeah, we're on the same page to a degree. So 6-11, I have the Broncos. I do not see your quarterbacks are Bo Nix and Zach Wilson. So if Bo Nix is struggling, you're going to go to Zach Wilson or Jared Stidham. That's a tough spot to be in for Sean Payton. Good luck. I got the Raiders at 7-10. I'll talk about them later in the biggest storylines. I'm right there with you. Your Aiden O'Connell is not good enough to get you where you want to go, but he's not bad enough to get you Shador. So I think the games he played last year, again, like good enough to put you in purgatory, but not good enough to get you over the top. There's going to be a point in this Raider season where they're going to have to make that decision. Okay, are we within striking distance of Shador? And if we are, how do we get there? And that's going to have to be made pretty early on. I got the Chargers at 9-8. Same thing you said. They're the Chargers. I don't care if Jim Harbaugh in charge. I don't care. They are in a soft rebuild, I'll say. Quentin Johnson doesn't seem like he can catch.
Yo, listen. This is what makes me laugh. Everyone was talking about some. I can't wait for Quentin Johnson year 2. Like he's going to make all you guys eat your words for doubting him. And everyone was like, "Yo, I'm watching the product on the field. He is a wide receiver who struggles to catch the ball. I promise you, these critiques aren't just coming out the blue. Boy, were the critiquers right. That's why sometimes you gotta throw a little hate out there. The hate to balance it out. The
Hey,
hate and failure will balance out success and awards.
I drafted Quentin Johnson in our dynasty league, and Jason came in and wanted to trade something for him. I said, "Boy, you can have him. You can take Quentin
Whatever
Johnson.
you wanted.
Whatever you want, he's yours." And then I have the Chiefs, the only team going to the playoffs out of this division like you. I got them at 12-5. I also think that the Broncos will beat the Chiefs at least once because that's the kind of stuff that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got the Chiefs going 12-5.
Yeah.
They will be in great. I don't know if that's enough to win the AFC. It might be, but they'll be in the conversation.
What do you think will be the biggest storyline for the AFC West?
Is this Travis Kelce's last ride with the Chiefs?
Listen, my biggest storyline is Shador, Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers. Vegas, who do you want?
Yeah. So I had another one. I have the mine for Vegas was, when is the Devontae Adams trade demand coming?
It's not coming.
You don't think so? You don't think
his family from that area? His family's listen. One might say that. I ain't gonna say it.
All right. And then the last thing I had, I cannot wait until it's November and we finally get to have the Justin Herbert conversation.
What Justin Herbert conversation?
The conversation that Justin Herbert is overrated.
Oh my gosh. Justin Herbert overrated, but Jalen Hurts is not.
Hey, one's been a Super Bowl. The other one loses in the playoffs to Jacksonville, up 3 touchdowns. Like, what we talking? Wins are not a QB stat.
But that Super Bowl was 2 seasons ago. It's a "what have you done for me now" league, and y'all's QB didn't look the hottest last season. So
wins are not a QB stat, but you should be able to point to wins that you get because of your QB.
But then you can't use one made it to the Super Bowl because he didn't win.
You didn't let me finish my statement, but you should be able to point to games where your QB won. I can point to games, the Bills game last year.
Oh, brother. See, this is...
What does Justin Herbert do well, but he's a great passer? What does Justin do well?
You're doing gymnastics to make Jalen
All right,
Hurts
then. What makes Justin Herbert top 5 and Jalen not?
Arm accuracy, ball placement, the ability to throw from any angle, the ability to move in and out the pocket to make plays. I mean,
what's that? What's
you
that?
Don't come in and break Peyton Manning's record because you a scrub.
And what does that get you? What does that got in them?
Well, I thought you said QB's wins team success isn't indicative of QB, play. Kyle says the biggest AFC storyline so far this year has been the Chiefs wide receivers. Xavier Worthy breaking the wide receiver dash record. Rashee Rice suspension, Marquise Brown injury. Hollywood Brown was probably the biggest preseason story from week 1. I still don't really fully understand what happened to Hollywood Brown. I'm going to be honest with you. Danny,
the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I don't. I just know the Chiefs won the Super Bowl during a rebuild, and I use that loosely, and they won the Super Bowl, and now they have legit offensive weapons. They're doing what Miami's doing, but just better.
What do you mean by that?
So, Miami's offense is just built around speed. Like, which one gets a bunch of fast guys and run around you. Well, Chiefs kind of have the same thing. Xavier Worthy, fast. Rashee Rice is fast.
Hollywood Brown.
Oh, wow. He dislocated his shoulder, Hollywood Brown. But Hollywood Brown is fast.
So, yeah, he is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a sternoclavicular injury.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And then you use all that speed, and you got Travis Kelce just running free down the middle.
Oh, wow. Literally on his only catch of the game.
Kyle said a muscle attached to his clavicle.
Yeah.
I think. Oof.
Andy Reid told reporters that Brown suffered a sternoclavicular joint dislocation where your clavicle comes into your sternum and was hospitalized for further evaluation. He spent 1 night in the hospital before being discharged. But on Monday, they did say that he avoided surgery. So prayers up to Hollywood Brown. That sounds scary.
How the hell does that happen?
Getting tackled. Probably got tackled on the shoulder or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Division MVP, and we can't name Patrick Mahomes.
I wasn't. Chris Jones, and here's my second hot take of the night.
My brother loved Chris Jones, brother.
Chris Jones is going to lead the NFL in sacks for defensive tackles.
Really?
Yes.
I got. Listen, I got. Did Max Crosby win Defensive Player of the Year last year?
No, he did not.
Well, for some reason I thought he did because I was going to say Max Crosby back-to-back Defensive Player of the Years, but if he didn't win it last year, then I do have Max Crosby being the Defensive Player of the Year this year.
I think Myles Garrett won it last year.
Oh, well, then I have Max Crosby winning Defensive Player of the Year this year.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Anything? Kyle said, "How is that a hot take?"
Or Chris Jones?
Yeah.
Well, because I have Jalen Carter Defensive Player of the Year, but I think Chris Jones will lead all defensive tackles and sacks.
Well, yeah, that math isn't adding up.
Or more than sacks.
Okay, I got you. Speaking of some math that's not adding up, let's talk about some WWE stuff.
Yeah.
2 championship matches that were announced, and I heard them and I said, yeah, this is kind of whack. Gunther versus Randy Orton. Rematch of the King of the Ring final. It was a really good match, but for the championship, I get what they're doing. I'm noticing that when they have these new champions, they want to make their first defense someone way out there that's a clear opposite of them, so that you can get the sense of what the new champion is like as champion when they have a complete opposite rival. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
I always feel like the first title defense is to get someone who was established to make that champion look like a champion.
Mm-hmm. So of course we have the Randy Orton match. Obviously we know Gunther's gonna win at Bash at Berlin, but now I'm expecting a really, really good match to help put Gunther over as champion. Cody versus KO. Yo, Danny, I gotta look in the camera when I say this. The fuck is going on?
Dog, this Cody run. These Cody people were crying for a whole year. What has Cody done in his championship run that is not related to the bloodline that makes you think, man, this is great? What?
I don't know. I'm not really excited to see Cody versus KO.
I have something. I think Gunther is going to dominate Randy. Not a squash, but I think we're going to leave that match saying, oh, yeah, Gunther's about to be a champ till WrestleMania and probably beyond.
I think Gunther will be a champion. Anytime he's held the belt, it has been a long reign, so I don't really see him losing anytime soon. What were your thoughts on the return of Roman Reigns? No words, just action. What were your thoughts?
That's exactly what it was supposed to be.
We were both wrong because we were talking about maybe some Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso. He came out there by himself, just got that throwing hands.
Yo, that's what. So when do we get the solo Roman match?
I honestly don't think it will be at this Bash of Berlin. I think
hell no.
It will be at Survivor Series. But what I think they're about to do is build up to Roman having to call upon his peoples.
Okay.
So I think it wouldn't surprise me if Friday or whatever, Roman gets beat up by the rest of the bloodline.
Like, did you see? I forgot when this interview was. It was definitely early, maybe WrestleMania last year, and Paul Heyman was like, "Oh, this bloodline story is only like in the 3rd inning. Like, we have so much more." And we were like, "What are you talking about, Paul?" Whoo, buddy, he won't lie.
He won't. It's real. It's
real.
Deeper and deeper. What did Push say to Drake? We gonna peel back all the layers. We don't really talk about how disrespectful Push's tone of voice was when he finished Story of Adidon. He's got to laugh and talking about and you upset. Well, I want to see what it's like when you mad. Then
we talk about Not Like Us, and we should, but man, the Story of Adidon. You are hiding a son.
You are hiding a child. Let that boy come home. That's crazy. That's crazy. Damian and Rhea versus Dominic and Liv Morgan. I want to take a real quick time to acknowledge the premium milk and display in this match. Listen, we're going to see 2 of the best women wrestlers get it on with the accompaniment of Dom and Damien.
Dom's wife is the strongest woman on earth.
Yo, them live bars, it makes me wonder. Yo, matter of fact, didn't she just get divorced? She's saying I'm kind of.
I think she broke up. Rhea just got married. So Rhea Ripley got married like earlier this year. But Dom's wife is the strongest woman on planet.
Well, she probably knows. Oh. So Liv Morgan stated that she is single and on the open. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So Liv was supposedly dating Bo Dallas or something like that, but I guess they broke up. So Liv Morgan actually
Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas or somebody, but apparently they Liv Morgan is single. Dominic Mysterio's he got married earlier this year, so I think he's holding it down for which makes this whole angle funny because do you think Rhea went to Triple H and was like, "Yo, I'm married. I can't be doing this."
No, so actually I was listening to something and Rhea was talking about how she appreciates how her husband doesn't get jealous and how she could not do the same if the story were switched. Like if her husband was in a storyline like this, how she would be a little jealous. I will say, you saw Jay making a move at Rhea, and I bet you Naomi was like, "Hey, Hunter, knock that shit off," because we ain't seen Jay since.
Wait, say what?
Remember 2 weeks ago?
We saw Jay. We saw Jay. I saw Jay last night talking to Sami Zayn.
Yeah, but he has not gone anywhere. Remember a couple weeks ago they tried to slide in. Jay was like, "Oh, what's Rhea's number?" And Damien was like, "Oh yeah, go holla at her or whatever." We ain't heard none of that since.
Well, that's because I think they're trying to set Jay up to eventually help out Roman. And
Naomi said, "Hunter, knock that shit off."
Oh, you think that's what happened?
I mean, and she returned to SmackDown last week.
What is your conspiracy?
My conspiracy is that they were trying to put an angle where Jay was going to hit on Rhea to make Dom jealous. Do you remember that segment?
Yeah, I remember that. That was we talked about it.
Yeah, and we have not seen Jay anywhere near Rhea since.
I'm not going to put that on Dominic and Rhea.
I'm going to put that on Naomi saying, "Hunter, no. We not doing that."
Nah, because why are you trying to make my boy Jey Uso sound like he a punk? Jey Uso hold it down.
Or Jay said,
or like my boy Jey Uso, he the type, I mean? Hey.
Or Jay said, "Hunter, I am not comfortable in this kind of storyline," because we know Naomi is his wife on screen too.
So you mean, oh, that's true.
Like we as the fans know that they are married. That is not a secret.
But we also know that Rhea Ripley's married, so.
But her partner doesn't work in WWE. They don't share a screen together. They don't share.
Touche. What do you think about that? Thoughts on Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn in that 2 out of 3 falls match last night?
Goes back to what we said about Gunther and Randy. You gotta give the new champ someone to beat that makes it seem like they're ready to be champ.
And I'm pretty sure Triple H didn't want to put them back on another pay-per-view, so why not just have it rematch on Raw, and that way at Bash in Berlin you can give Braun Breaker somebody else, and now you can double.
Yep. Get him and they're making that mistake with LA Knight. LA Knight's first title defense should not be against Escobar. It needs to be against someone who is established.
Listen, I got my thoughts on LA Knight, but I'm just keeping.
I know.
CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. It's turned into the funniest beef that I may have ever seen, because I'm at a point now where I don't even know if these guys legitimately don't like each other or just don't like each other and you got over whatever beef they had.
I don't think they like each other. I think this is real, because we know Seth and CM Punk don't like each other in real life.
Still.
Yeah. I mean, Seth's gone for a while. Like, they wrote him out. Like, he's gone for a while. I don't know how you keep...
And Punk will be here for a while, seems like.
I don't know how you keep the Drew Punk thing going without Seth.
Keep him fighting.
I mean, how much can you fight? Because usually this ends in Hell in a Cell, right? Like,
well, it'll probably end with one of them going on to face Gunther and doing a little championship run there, and the other one will probably be
okay. So CM Punk gets a match against Gunther. Drew ruins it for CM Punk as payback, and we keep this thing going. Okay.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, could be. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. What were your thoughts on the women's team? The women's we're shifting over to the Olympics. What were your thoughts on the women's national team versus France? Was that not one of the scariest games you think they have ever played?
Did you so before did you watch that game?
Yeah.
It was scary, and props to France. But I swear, I have never seen so many missed layups from Team USA. And Asia was 3 for 11 at half, and I swore she missed like 5 layups. Sabrina missed a wide open layup. Like if they make their layups, they win by 20, or you're up double digits in the last minute, and it's not even close. Like forget the turnovers, forget the foul trouble with Jackie Young running people over. If you make 5 of your layups, what are we talking about here?
We don't get in this situation.
But it was a great game, though. It was shout out to France. It was an excellent game. They did everything they could to dirty that game up.
Both men and women. French. Yo, listen. You know what's funny is finding out more so before and during the Olympics how much the French do not like Americans. It's not a race thing. It's like the French do not like Americans.
Nope.
Like the way white people in America don't like blacks, French treat Americans like the whites treat the blacks here in America. Dead ass. They don't like us. Don't look.
They shouldn't.
You think so?
No, they shouldn't.
Why?
Because we seceded from them. We said, y'all eat beans for breakfast. Get us the fuck out of here. I'll down that here. I'll never listen to someone eat beans for breakfast.
This is France, not the UK.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Kyle, you are well versed in French culture because you live in Canada. Don't they be eating beans for breakfast? Kyle, do you eat beans for breakfast? Kyle, do you eat beans for breakfast? And yes, Kyle said, to be fair, most people don't like Americans. 100% agree. Yeah. I don't like Americans, and I live here.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's just so it's funny that ironically, somebody that the French hated the most played both their men's and women's national basketball team, and both of them lost. Both of them by heartbreaks. Women lost barely to a dynasty. The men lost what should have been a game that they could have won. But Steph Curry said, no, not today.
That boy, I got emotional watching that game.
Steph Curry different. Let's listen.
Like the shot over Wemby, my God.
All right. Go ahead.
I might get that and put that in my office.
Yeah, you go ahead, frame that. I might put that like right here behind me. Go ahead, throw that up.
For me, the biggest thing, and we can get back to the women's in a second, but the thing for me, I was thinking watching the men's game, 2028 is going to be nasty.
We're gonna have some dogs. We're gonna have some dogs.
No, I mean nasty in a bad way. Who on the men's roster in 2028 do you think can lead that team? Now, granted, we have FIBA.
AD and KD will probably come back. We'll have Ant-Man.
No, not KD.
Okay, AD will come back. We'll still have Ant-Man. We'll have Tatum, Jaylen Brown. We'll have some dogs. Derek White will come back. Drew Holiday might come back.
Anthony Davis, okay, he'll be 35. Okay, KD's 35 right now. Okay, I'll buy that. So you got Ant. Like it was very clear, crunch time. It's LeBron, KD, Steph. In 2028, who is it?
KD, Tatum, Booker.
I think, yeah, Book low key, and this is coming from a Book hater. Like Book kept that team steady when they needed it.
Because he's a good player. It's you watching some of these players, you'd be like, damn, he's really good at basketball. And then you're like, well, he also plays in the NBA. Then the next thing you be thinking about, damn, it's crazy. He ain't won no championship yet, and he's like nice.
And Book was playing defense too. Like I don't think we talk about Book's game on that front that much. Like Book, like if there was a most improved,
probably because for the Suns, he don't really get asked to D up anyone. They just ask him to put the ball in the cup.
That's true. But yeah, I think Devin Booker had a great Olympic. Like that's a great point. I forgot about Devin.
all in all, shout out to the men's and women's basketball teams, gold medal. Shout out to the women's soccer team. That was one hell of a match versus
Yeah,
Spain or
Brazil,
Brazil, excuse
Brazil.
me, Brazil. And that was a hell, like that goal. I was so hyped. That one goal, because that was the one that we needed. That was
Yeah,
the one that we needed, the only one that we needed. So shout out to the gold, their first gold since I believe 2012.
yeah. No, did they? No, Mega. I'm thinking World Cup.
Yeah, so their first Olympic
Well, they
gold
didn't
medal.
win the World Cup either, did they?
I'm not sure. I'm
I
not
love
sure.
when Kyle Black, great job, guys, and we still going. Good night, Kyle. Kyle Black, great job. I gotta go.
And then on the track, Noah Lyles, he won the 100, but
Yep.
got COVID. He came in bronze in the 200. But I'm not going to even, I don't even care. Listen, if you had COVID, prayers up to you. If you didn't have COVID, that's funny stuff. Leslie Tobago. Wow. You know, he's one of the top 5 fastest men at 200 meters ever now.
Really?
Yeah, he ran like 19.4.
See, I'm not hip on the track times. I
Yeah,
just watch
Danny,
it. Yo, he fast.
I tell people I was talking to a few of my friends during like the track portion, and I asked them, yo, which record do you think will be touched first, 9:58 or 19:19? Both of which are Usain Bolt records, and everyone kept saying the 200, and I was like, yo, okay, I hear y'all, anything's possible, but if you understand how fast a 19:19 is, Danny, 19:19. Usain Bolt was fucking rolling. That's the only thing I can tell you. Like it's man,
It's 200 meters one lap.
half a lap.
Half a
400
lap.
meters is
Is
full
a
lap.
lap. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of 400 meters, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think Noah Lyles calms down on the trash talk now?
Well, I think at this point everyone's got to put their guns down. Both sides got to put their guns down because both sides won a gold medal. So
Well, Tyreek Hill said he raced Noah and he's faster.
okay, I need everyone to realize that Tyreek Hill used to run track, and Tyreek Hill is like a 10.0, maybe 9.99 fast type sprinter. Would he beat Noah Lyles? He'd give him a run, but what I'm really trying to say is Tyreek Hill can talk that type of talk, and y'all can shut the fuck up because Tyreek Hill, if you know him from his track background, y'all got to shut the fuck up. Y'all know what y'all talking about. Let him talk.
I'm just interested. I wonder if that Ant-Man story with Noah is real because I think it's real.
Let me ask you something. How hater was that bar? I don't even think my hating brain could have came up with that type of hate.
And that's why I think it's real. That's why I think the story is real because you don't make up a hate bar. That hate come from the heart. He said that boy ain't even been to an NBA finals. Why would I go to his shoe drop?
Yeah, like he was like, who is this little nigga? Yo, he was hey, maybe that was why Anthony Edwards was in that commercial shooting the hoops talking about fuck buddy.
Oh, did you see the ad they released when he won? He got the whole world in his hands. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That showed some heat.
It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's all right. Shout out to the U.S. track women. They dominated a few different races: 4x1, 4x4, 110 hurdles, 400-meter hurdles. I mean, jumps, distance. Listen, the U.S. women's national track team was holding it down. The men did their thing too, but really want to shout out the women. They did their thing.
Did you see the stat that U.S. women accounted for 65% of the gold medals the U.S. won? Pool in the track.
You see it. We got them hitters. I want to shout out. This is not really a shout out. This is a get your fucking act together alert. U.S. men's 4x1. At some point, we just got to get this right. At some point, we got to stop fucking this up.
Talk about it.
Like, at some point, y'all have to. At some point, it's less about. At some point, your pride as an American and your pride as a professional track and field runner has to come into play. Get the stick around the track. Here's the craziest part about this. Noah Lyles was on the 4x1. Yo, the 4x1 had the fastest fucking time going into the final. It was clear they were the favorite. So yes, if I sound a little pissed off, I fucking am. Noah Lyles was on that 4x1 team. He gets COVID, can't run. Okay, cool. I want to let everyone know Noah Lyles was the anchor leg.
Okay.
They changed the order of the entire relay. But Noah Lyles was the anchor leg. Ladies and gentlemen, ding ding. What do you think if you miss your anchor leg, what do? Just get a new anchor leg. You change the whole order? And you see why Christian Coleman ran up on Kenny Menard like that. To you people out who ain't never ran a relay, there are steps that come when you're running at that fast. There's usually the runners, if you saw that tape they had across their chest, that's what that's for. You have to have a certain number of steps. It is different between each person because you don't want that other person running up on you because that other person is flying. So you need to get out and they need to catch you. Boom, stick. We here. This is not hard. High school teams do this. College track teams do this. It's professionals. Come on, man. Y'all listen, man. Strictly speaking, the Japanese should not be beating us. 4 black people. All right. Because, all right, listen. Any other sports, Olympic sports? Listen, I'm still thinking about Turkish dude who just went out there.
Pew! I'm thinking about breakdancing. It is not an Olympic sport in 2028. Thank God.
Oh, that's racist.
That's what I was saying. I was like, they watched. I was like, man, this feels real racist. Maybe we shouldn't do this again. You know what?
No. Not only was it a racist for them to have the event, 1, the U.S. team didn't have no black folk around. No. 2, and how you gonna breakdancing and nobody of color is representing the U.S. in breakdancing? Crazy.
Did you?
3, y'all start this bullshit ass sport. Then when it's coming to the U.S. in one of the U.S.'s biggest black cities, now y'all want to take it off the docket.
Nah, we good. They said we good on this.
See. Listen, when I say everything about that fucking breakdancing was some bullshit, little Johnny up there pop locking.
Did you see sis from Lithuania?
Oh my God. She needed some WD-40 for her routine. What the fuck are we talking about, yo?
Did you see what she was wearing?
Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. No, what was her name?
Nicka. And she was wearing the do-rag.
Okay.
That's when they were like,
yeah, listen, IOC, listen. I think this plays more into the French don't fuck with us because I think that was a big FU to Americans. Like
100%.
Like
last thing about the Olympics for me, I watched the women's gold powerlifting. My God, I have never
strong women.
Units. They were some units. And not like in a disrespectful way, like admiration that you can do that.
Listen, think they got some fullbacks in there? Some people
they could power clean me. That's what they were doing. Me and then some.
You know what's funny? Those are the type. Yo, listen. Men use ego to pick bad battles, right? Bad fights.
Yep.
But some of the women you're talking about, I'm thinking about it from the women's perspective, and I'm thinking about what would the girl say to one of those type women that would make one of those type women put some hands on just a regular girl? Because you know what happens. Because one of those type women have had to fuck up a pretty bitch before. I had to fuck one up real quick. Just to let them know. So you got to know what did she do
to make them so mad? Like the girl from Egypt, I don't know how she didn't win. She made it look so easy. Like every lift, she made it look super easy, and I was like,
shout out to the boxer. Listen, if enough people call me a man, I gotta beat a couple bitches' ass to let them know I am not a man.
Not only that, but she is suing. She said, no. J.K. Rowling, bring that ass here.
Elon Musk, yeah, come here. She was like, oh, y'all think I'm a man? Watch this. I'm gonna beat these bitches' asses. Show y'all I am a woman, and I'm gonna sue y'all.
And I'm gonna take
Oh
your
man,
money.
the jokes write themselves. Jokes write themselves. Now, here's what I'm gonna say. Shorty had a strong jawline, so
Good night.
listen. All right, I'm gonna say it to you when we finish, but just know I'm not saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Speak On It. 153 episodes. Boy, we are rolling. I got to get back on my Marvel watch list from a few weeks ago. I stopped because I've been playing a lot of NCAA. Didi, this marks the first episode where your camera has just been malfunctioning, but we held through. We held it down. Good thing it's the audio adventure for the people.
Yeah, I am definitely buying a.
It's audio adventure. Listen, I had a DJ set over the weekend that went pretty well. I played on
this week.
I played on my new DJ controller on Saturday at my gig. It was a really good gig, actually. It was a really good gig. Did I send you that mix from Saturday? It's like 2 hours. I don't know if I did. If you want it, I'll send it to you.
I don't think you did, but I know you went live on Saturday.
Yeah. Yo, did you pull up to the live?
You sent me the mix last week that I've been listening to, and it's been
what?
No, I did not pull. I saw you went live, but
because I was hoping to hear I can hear you. I was hoping to hear what the live sounded like, so I could know yeah, yes, brother, I can hear you.
Next time you go live, tell me. Like I said, I saw it Saturday night, but if you go live,
and I'm 3 hours behind, so I'll be for my East Coast people, I'll be but I might. I'm gonna start going live more often, just like when I practice, because that might be better. I think people like when I practice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go ahead and follow.
Yeah, give me a heads up, and I'll look at it.
I got you, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on socials, starting with the pod. That's Speak On It _pod on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok. Danny, I gotta hit you on the side because for some reason I don't know the login information to that TikTok, and I'm the one.
I got you. I got you.
Make sure you follow myself. That is at Los Demix. That is LOSDEEMIX on Instagram, on Twitch, on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube, wherever. And make sure you follow Danny on the Bird app. That is Danny. Is that at Danny Ocean? I believe so. I think it's at Danny Ocean.
Danny Ocean 41.
Danny Ocean 41. See, I knew it. Ladies and gentlemen, per usual, thank you for another episode of Speak On It. We could never do this without you. Without y'all, nothing is possible. Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here with us on your Tuesday night. So make sure you guys have a great week. Enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy my week off. Danny's going to enjoy his time off with his camera off, and we will be back next week. Another episode of Speak On It. We're getting closer to the NFL regular season kickoff, people. We'll see you next week. I'm Los Demix. That's Danny Ocean. We the Speak On It boys. We out.